What's going on? Bobby again with another Why You Know Sleepy, part two. As promised, I wanted to make sure that I send y'all this video, put this video up, but I want to say a couple things. One of those things is to let you know that of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone who has sleep issues, and I've gone through some sleep training, and not necessarily sleep training in the respect of being trained how to sleep, but more so to see where I fall when it comes to not being able to sleep. It comes out I have severe insomnia, so I'm just going through the different things that I went through during this trial to come up with what they came up with for me. And I'm sharing it with somebody out here in this on this YouTube platform. And I hope that it helps you like it helped me. And I'm still battling, but I'm just taking you along with this journey. But here are some things that I've experienced. So let me go ahead and get my screen ready for you. Hold on. Why You Know Sleepy, part two. So if you just happen to tune into this is me talking to you about the sleep things that I deal with and some of the things that I've learned that have turned around and helped me tremendously, or it has helped me at least be able to break a habit and cause myself to get really sleepy, then I'm able to go to sleep. So one of the things I know you're thinking, he has a bright idea. No, light. Light is something that I found out through the doctor who conducted the sleep study on me. Light actually keeps you up, believe it or not. So learning how to mitigate how much light is in your environment when it comes to you getting ready to go to sleep, that's a tip that will help you tremendously, because whatever light does, it makes your, I don't remember the scientific terms that he's used, but light makes you think we can keep going. So when you're getting ready to go to bed, what you want to do is you want to mitigate how much light you're intaking. And what I mean by that is you want to start putting your cell phone down and pushing that away. Um, Turning the TV off at a certain time, having the lights in your room in certain sections of the house, you want to start clicking those things off. And eventually your body will get used to sensing that the lights are going down and it's time for you to go to sleep. As the lights are going down, your body then picks it up and then you go. It helps you, it induces sleep. Another thing I want to talk about is these good old cell phones in bed. When you're sleeping in the bed, that light from that cell phone to keep you up. But all in all, cell phones before, like when you're going to bed, maybe putting the cell phone down probably an hour or two before you get ready to go to sleep, because you're on all of these apps. You're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of these other apps, and it's keeping you up because you're just constantly being stimulated by whatever it is that you're looking at on the interweb. And we want to mitigate that as much as possible because we want to go to sleep. I am up currently where I am, still haven't gone to sleep. So we want to take our cell phones, put our cell phones on, put our cell phones on silent. But if it's like somebody, a spouse, significant other, brother, sister, mother, father, whoever, somebody important to you, most phones have the feature where when you put your phone on silent, or your job or something like that, you can program certain numbers that'll be able to get through the call, so you don't have to worry about, well, what if I miss this or what if I miss that. all of the people who you want to contact you will be able to contact you. Which brings me to my next point: caffeine. Some people look like this when they get their caffeine. Their caffeine just takes them and moves them to another realm. The thing with caffeine is that it's found in so many different things. But you have to learn. Oh, excuse me. You have to learn to taper it off. Caffeine isn't good for you. So one of the things that they had us do during the sleep study when it pertained to caffeine, they actually had to cut it out completely. They had us cut it out completely unless our bodies were giving withdrawal symptoms or whatnot. And I didn't think that was a real thing, but yeah, that's a real thing. As ignorant as that sound, I did not think withdrawals from caffeine was a real thing, but it definitely is because I was in a sleep study group and I saw these individuals having withdrawals because they weren't able to get their coffee to perk them up because they were used to just having such a high dosage of caffeine throughout the day or in the morning or whenever they were wanting some caffeine, they had access to it. So the doctor was like, no, wing off that caffeine. If you drink 3 cups of coffee a day, over these next 30 days, go to 2 cups or go to 1.5 cup. The eventual goal is for you to have you're not drinking any coffee, and that's going to help you sleep better. And it definitely did, because some people came in with their coffee cups juiced and jittered and etc. And next thing you know, as the classes progressed and they had us doing different things, which I will share with you in this video and other videos, they had us doing different things to be able to induce sleep more rapidly than we would normally get unless he just came up with a diagnostic or unless he just diagnosed us. We went through different things like that. So another point I want to bring up is something that is also addictive is alcohol. We know alcohol is addictive, but alcohol, and here's how the doctor described it: alcohol does put you in a relaxed state, but alcohol does not induce. It's basically it's like it's a productive sleep that you can have. Alcohol does not put you in that realm, in that good space of sleep where the restorative properties that sleep has, your body is utilizing while it's shut down. Alcohol doesn't do that. So alcohol does make you sleepy, and alcohol does allow you to sleep, but it's not the best sleep, and it's pretty bad sleep that you get, and then your body is still processing and having to break down those different things that the alcohol is put inside your system, and then you wake up and you kind of feel like this. You feel like doo-doo when you wake up most of the time because your body still hasn't processed, or you wake up and unfortunately I've never had this, but you wake up and you smell like liquor even after you showered. It's pretty intense what alcohol actually really does to the body, not just functional as far as like your liver and your kidneys and what it does, but what it also does to your brain, but more so mentally what it is. Like when you're drinking just to go to sleep, that's not the best remedy. You're gonna have to find other things, and it's tough, but you can definitely do it. Which brings me to my next point about not using alcohol as something to go to sleep with because it causes brain damage and some different things like that. Cigarettes. Those who smoke cigarettes, I didn't know this, but cigarettes actually, the doctor says cigarettes, dip. He actually didn't mention cigars, which I found ironic. I thought that would be on the top of the list, but it wasn't. But anyway, cigarettes and dip, they have some of the chemicals that they possess keeps you up. So if you smoke to relax and you like, I'm just gonna have a cigarette before I go to sleep, one of the main reasons why you're still up is because the chemicals that those different cigarette brands have inside of them that gets into your body and you're up. Like I've heard one guy in class was mentioning that, sometimes when he gets sleepy at the wrong part of the day, like right when his workday starts, he'll smoke a cigarette or two and give him a pick me up, and then he'll follow that with some coffee and an energy drink. And I'm just like, damn, like he just compounded, and then you wonder why, you know, he's unable to go to sleep, or he doesn't have restful, peaceful sleep when he actually does go to sleep. And when the doctors was speaking on those things, I was like, wow, I didn't even think that smoking cigarettes would put you in a situation to where it affects your sleep. That was that was something that definitely did not cross my mind. But it's definitely it is a real thing. He showed us the data, he showed us the studies, and yeah, cigarettes, specifically cigarettes and nicotine products like dipping and stuff like that, they do not help with you sleeping. So we'll move on to the next point because this is something that the doctor shared. TV. A TV in your room or watching TV. First off, a TV in your room is a bad thing. If you have a TV in your room, take the TV out of your room, because that, with the light that we talked about earlier, and with the your brain getting constant stimulation, which is what a TV is going to do, just like an app, those things in your room doesn't set the atmosphere for you to be able to just get some really good sleep. And then at night, that dark light in your body, how it messes with your body, is just not a good thing to keep a TV inside your room. And that leads me to this next point: taking naps. Now, during this sleep study, I didn't know keeping a TV in your room was a bad thing. I don't keep a TV in my room, so it's no big deal. I think of it like that. They're telling us turning off the television at a certain time or get off our phone, an hour and a half or 2 hours before bed. That way our body can adjust and etc. But one of the other things that they said during this sleep cycle, during the sleep study that we went through, is that napping is actually not as good. um Napping is a bad thing if you struggle with sleep, because it's almost like a soft restart. So then, most people that struggle with sleep can operate on hours of not sleeping. So we are individuals who can get 2, 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, but we can go on and do a 12-hour shift, or we can have a long work day, and it affects us, but it doesn't really affect us. This is why napping isn't the best thing, because napping puts you in a situation to where your mind restart, especially if you nap and you get into a zen like REM sleep. You like the way that your body works. It's just it's amazing how your body works. And then the doctor mentioned that if you sleep for a certain amount of time, like an hour, no more than if you're pushing it in an hour and a half, because by the time you get up, it restarts everything as if you just had 5 or 6 hours worth of sleep. And now when you try to go to sleep at whatever your normal time is, quote unquote, it's difficult for your body to go to sleep because you're staying awake. And then you're walking around after a nap looking like this guy, just groggy. You're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Because your body hit a certain plateau of sleepy juice. And then that sleepy juice was released throughout your body because you hit a certain aspect of a wave pattern. And then once you hit that wave pattern, like REM or etc., the body was like, I can rest. And then what happens is when your alarm goes off for your nap, you jolt up and you wake yourself up and you're like, oh, and now your body still has the sleep juice inside of it, and you groggy and you look like this, or you look like this after you wake up in the morning because you didn't get good night's sleep. So we have to be mindful of those things for individuals like ourselves, like I said, who struggle with sleep. So I'm gonna do a quick recap really fast, all the way from the top. Why sleepy, one thing we have to worry about is light. how much light we intake either from our phones or the electricity inside of our homes. We have to be mindful of that. Next thing, our cell phones, when we're in a bed, put our cell phones down, put it on silent mode, only give access for those who can get past silent mode, or those who need to get past silent mode, get off the apps and all of these things about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half before bed. Lay off the caffeine as much as possible. Alcohol is not going to help you sleep, rest, and get a good productive sleep. Also, cigarettes is a terrible idea, and napping is not the best. I did just skip um, TV in your rooms, get them out of your room, read a book or something like that before you go see what's alternatives that they gave us. And lastly, he mentioned that we should not nap. And this is just a quick little tips that I ended up getting while I was going through the sleep study. And maybe by the end of this, I'll tell you what the doctor's diagnosis was for myself. Thank y'all for listening. Stay awake. Not stay awake. Get some rest if you can. But I'll see you. Stay tuned for part 3.